Bay. You're probably going to hear a lot of music going on right now because I am in school and people are practicing and it's just a busy week. So I know this is only my second video and I know that I'm already late on a video. However, I have a valid excuse. I'm presently doing my university applications and I have to tell you, it is literally one of the most traumatic experiences of my entire life. I know I'm only 20 years old and I know that there's probably going to be a lot more traumatic experiences in my life. However, really though? And the more I talk to people about it, the more I realize that I'm not the only one that thinks that they're way in over their head. First off, applying to university costs an arm and both legs. And after paying for all the application fees, I am easily going to have maxed out my credit card. Like seriously, forget student loans for paying for tuition. You need student loans to pay for your applications. Now the application process, no matter where you apply to, is complicated as all hell. The websites are hard to navigate. Everything is usually unclear, and then when you call the hotline for help, they don't even know how to help you. Half the time, I'm sat there thinking I'm applying to get a degree, and yet it seems as though I need a degree in order to decipher the application. Then you have letters of intent, where it is your job to convince the university that you are a worthy investment of their time and resources. This seems like a completely manageable thing to do, until they tell you to do it in a page and a half. Really? How exactly are we supposed to sum up 3 to 4 years of our lives in 1 to 1.5 pages? So you write a draft, and then you redraft, and then redraft, and then redraft, and finally you end up with something that you're okay with, so you submit it. Then it hits you. Oh my god, what if they don't read it? There can only be one thing that comes out of all this stress and uncertainty, and that is self-doubt and insecurity. I guess that's more than one thing, but you know what I mean. Most of the comments I've gotten have to do with stress. It's either, oh my god, I'm so stressed, or oh my god, I'm so scared, or I'm completely demotivated, I don't know how I'm gonna start. And I realized that people are killing themselves so that they can make sure that they know what their plan is for next year. This one girl I asked said, I applied for 15 different universities, but now I'm going through a minor identity crisis. Who wouldn't? Another girl that I spoke to had a really great point when she said that we're still really young. So young. How in the hell are we supposed to choose what we're gonna do for the rest of our lives? And she's totally right. We're still trying to figure ourselves out. We're still growing up. How exactly are we supposed to know what we want to do for the next 60 to 80 years? What if you studied sciences and now you want to pursue something in the artistic field, but you know absolutely nothing about it? You're now going up against so many people who have massive portfolios when all you have is a self-portrait done in 8th grade art class. Are you telling me that you wouldn't doubt yourself in the slightest? And then there is the ultimate kick in the pants for those studying in CEGEPs. For those of you who don't know, a part of our post-secondary education system in Quebec is a pre-university college called CEGEP. Essentially, we graduate here in grade 11 and then our grade 12 year and our first year of university is mushed into one thing called CEGEP, followed by 3 to 4 years of an undergrads depending on what you're studying. In a way, CEGEP is great, especially because it gives you 2 extra years for you to decide what you want to study in university. However, its major pitfall is something called the R-score. R-score, also known as a CRC, is a Cote de Rendement au Collégial, which in French means performance rating at a collegiate level. It's essentially a Z-score that classifies the academic performance of CEGEP students. Z-score being the number indicating how many standard deviations an element is from the mean. However, R-score is a Z-score to which an indicator of group strength has been added. So basically, we're not being classified under our own academic performance. They take everybody else's academic performance into account, and then they give us a grade. And the R-score is so complicated to calculate on your own, you never know where you stand. You can have super good marks and still get a shitty R-score. So basically, you're fucked either way. R-score is completely unnecessary, and it's so overrated. It goes to show just how much society will value a grade point average written on a piece of paper, as opposed to the ability of the individual themselves. And then they wonder why critical thinking is such a foreign concept to our generation, when all they do is put us under these strict and unattainable standards of what it means to succeed. But don't get me wrong, it isn't as hard for some people. There are people who find it a lot simpler than others, and who are 150% excited and willing to take part in the application process. And more power to them, hey. Who am I to judge? One of the comments that stuck with me the most, and that I think everybody needs to remember while going through this hellish milestone, is people just need to relax. Either way, you are going to succeed. It doesn't matter what school you get into. It doesn't matter if you go to school at all after this point. You don't need school to succeed. You need perseverance. you need determination, you need dedication, you need to want to succeed. And whatever you do will be successful. I mean, that is to say that your idea of success is not just a monetary value. But if you're like the rest of us out there, just being happy and being able to live your life to the fullest doesn't mean that you have to go to that one program in that school. This is the end of a big chapter in our lives, and we're getting ready to start an even bigger chapter. Enjoy it. Anyway, that's it for this week. I want to hear what you guys have to say, so like and comment down at the bottom. And don't forget, we want to keep the conversation going. So subscribe and get everybody else that you know to subscribe. I will see you next Thursday. Okay, bye.